Hi, book lovers. Between taking care of my 4-month-old baby and a million chores, I decided to pick up the book that has a 4.1 rating on Goodreads and is recommended by so many people on Book Talk. And this book is The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. I'm so curious about books which explore ideas around what happens after we die, so there is no way I wasn't reading this. I still remember reading Many Lives, Many Masters and watching Life After Death on Netflix for the same reason. The Midnight Library is also highly rated as a book which claims to push you towards a more positive outlook in your life. But unfortunately, The Midnight Library by Matt Haig is not like The Alchemist. Let's begin with a sneak peek into the book. I promise I won't give the story away. No spoilers. So the story of this book follows a 35-year-old woman, Nora Seed, who lives in Bedford. Nora is acutely depressed and full of regrets about the paths she didn't follow and the relationships she didn't keep in her current life. So in the beginning of the book, she's having a particularly tough time due to certain situations in her life, and she decides to take her own life. She gets trapped in the in-between, the place between life and death. In-between is a library filled with books of alternate lives she could have lived if she took different decisions and followed different paths. Wait, where have I heard that concept before? In an excellent series which I watched on Netflix called The OA, in the few episodes of the series The Supernatural, and closer to home, while reading about the Hindu god Chitragupta, who maintains a record of everyone's life. So the concept is not new, but if I know one thing about an old idea, it is that the packaging of the idea should be new. It should be sparkly, it should be exciting, old wine in a new bottle, you know what I mean? So this book began very slowly and didn't grab my attention immediately. The language is very simple and the editing is a little poor. At one point, I felt like it could have been a children's book, and at that time, I didn't even know that the author also wrote children's books. I found myself getting extremely bored until the point when Nora starts visiting her alternate lives. So curiosity kept me going. I wanted to know what Nora Seed was like in other lives, in a life where she's a successful person or in a life where she has a relationship. So the book certainly picks up when Nora starts visiting her alternate lives. I also found myself guessing the end, and I kind of guessed it correctly, but I won't give it away. That is a sin if I do. So like I said earlier, the concept is not new. The treatment of the concept is also not new. You won't find anything in this book that you haven't seen in another book or television series. Structurally, the book is easy to read, small chapters, easy dialogue, and language, no jargon, just like a children's book. But there are some fun things that the writer has attempted while delivering the story, like giving you some quotable quotes on life and positivity, which can be posted on Instagram or printed on t-shirts like this one. The only way to learn is to live. Or you can choose choices but not outcomes. So the writer includes fun facts in the dialogue that you can use to impress your friends. Like fish get depressed and human beings are wired to know only 150 people, as that was the average size of the hunter-gatherer communities. So on the readability scale of flight entertainment, I need to shut the door. This book is certainly something you can read in a moving vehicle while other people are talking to each other. The primary version that mostly defines how it was to read this book for me is curiosity. So now let's talk characters. Nora Seed is the only character worth mentioning. The others are minuscule parts of her story, and I didn't get much insight into them to love or hate them. Nora Seed is not easy to love or like either. At many points in the book, I felt she was someone who could be easily disliked, as she always looked at the negative and she gave up on things too easily. So now that I have given you my 2 cents on the book, time for the bookish advice on whether to read it or leave it. Read it if you like easy to read books and have not read other material on similar subjects. Leave it if you're into heavy reads that explore deeper subjects. Based on story, readability, characters, structure, I'm giving this book only 2 loves. I know a lot of people love this book, so please don't hate me for not being a fan. Maybe if I had not seen the OA, I would have found this book better. So let me know what you thought of the book. If you have read it, what are your favorite or least favorite parts? I love to talk about the books I read, so go ahead and drop a comment, even if it's an opinion which is opposite to mine. I don't mind. I would love to hear your opinion as well. All right then, on to the next book now. Until then, keep reading.